Well, welcome to the Women Are Worthy show. Y'all know I'm excited. We have the one and only actor, activist, philanthropist, musician, the one and only Mr. Malik Yoba. Hello, Mr. Yoba. How are you?
I'm tired as you can see, but I'm happy to be here.
Look, that melanin is on fleek, so you don't look tired, okay? You
I
don't
was
look it.
working to I was working till about 3:30 last night, but it's all good.
3:30 in the morning,
Yeah, and then woke up at about 8.
and you're doing my show. Oh my goodness, I'm excited. Okay. Thank
Was
you
that
for honoring your commitment. Okay, so let me start off by saying this. Okay, I'm giving you your flowers now. Let me tell you why I'm giving you your flowers. I don't care what's going on in the world, right? To see a man who treats my island like it's one of his own. Let me tell you something. Me love all your big up Jamaica. You
yeah,
hear me?
man.
Me
You
love
must.
it. Me
You
love
must.
it.
You must. Yeah, man.
So when I found out about you, and of course when you did Cool Running, so I'm like, well, maybe this is just a show he's doing, and it's not. But you are deeply rooted and suited in Jamaica, And do you have a restaurant out there?
I do not. I do
Okay,
not. I do not.
okay. Because I've just seen some of the things that you've done, and I said I got to get this. I don't know if they gave you your adoption papers, but me I go adopt you. You're a
Yeah, man.
Jamaica.
I'll take it, man. I'll take it for sure. I was just there a couple of weeks ago.
All right, stop bragging. You ain't got to brag, okay? So, what's going on, brother? What's going on? What are you doing? This is all about you, but I'm here to tell you I'm giving you your flowers because I love everything you do. You are on power. You are just the man. Your acting range is phenomenal. Phenomenal. And I thank you for doing the stuff that you do, my brother.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. What am I doing? I'm doing the most these days. I was actually up late because I've been writing. I've been working on a pilot, and I was writing the show Bible um, last night, which is one of you know more than a dozen different projects that I'm involved with that are not just entertainment related. I'm doing a lot of stuff in business, in real estate, development, education, media. Um, so yeah, so I'm using this downtime. What's today, the 28th?
The 28th, yeah.
So it seems like it's going too fast. The space between Christmas and New Year to finish some stuff, read some scripts, do some other business stuff, set up stuff that I'm doing around education. I'm working on a whole initiative around real estate development education for high school students here in New York and some college students. So my company Yoba Development is really a lot of my focus, most of my focus. Although I'm doing other people's projects, it's really about building my business in those three verticals: education, and media, and real estate. So that's why these bags are here.
Look, see, if you didn't show it, we wouldn't have known it. You know what
Oh,
I'm
I can
saying?
see it. I look. Trust me. I know because it's yeah. But
It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? When you got to play hard, this is what happens. So not only you from my favorite town, because I'm from Brooklyn, I'm gonna give you a pass because you from South Bronx. I'm gonna give you a pass on that one,
that's all
okay?
right.
But it's all good because we all New Yorkers. So I wanted to talk about how did you get into acting?
Um, I've been doing it for my whole life. I mean, I started as a kid. I'm a yeah. I mean, That's the short answer.
And
I
hey,
started as
that's
a kid doing school plays and yeah. I mean, it's been a long time.
So are you looking to do you want to do producing? Like what do you like about the whole, the entertainment field because you're very versatile, right? So what is it that if someone were to give you a choice and say, "Okay, this is one thing you can do, you're going to excel well at it." You only get one shot at this.
Well, I mean, that's a hypothetical that I would never entertain because there's never about one thing for me. But if I if you put a gun to my head, it made me. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about ownership. I mean, I love what I've been able to do as an actor, but at the end of the day, I don't own the things that you referenced that I've been a part of. Um, and so for me at this point, that's why I'm up till the middle of the night, because it's about taking that time to really work on your own thing. And so I live by an axiom that my father would always say, which is build your own generator. So when they turn off the power, you still have lights. So, nothing is more important than ownership of IP. And so that's really where my head's at: producing, directing, writing. Um, but I love employing people, and I love watching other talent have a chance to shine. Like there's a whole generation of young talent coming up, guys in their 20s and 30s, and young women that I'm really enjoying um, watching them shine. And I got plans for some of them. They don't even know it, but things that I'm writing, things I'm producing, whether it's in theater. I've been working with this Jamaican playwright actually, as well, David Heron. We just mounted a reading of his play, Against His Will, which is a play that basically explores a man getting Me Too'd in Jamaica, which no mind
Mm,
would ever talk about that in public.
of
To talk
course not.
so it's a drama with a whole lot of heart and some moments of levity. So whether it's working with a guy like David and helping him realize his dream of wanting to be on Broadway, um, the pilot that I'm working on, I'm collaborating with another writer who hasn't had his opportunities yet, so I enjoy doing that. Um, but the real estate development projects that I'm involved in, investing in other people's projects, helping them move their thing along. So really, it's about, for me, it's always been about how do I elevate other people as much as I may elevate myself. So that's really kind of where it's at for me right
You
now.
know, I like what you're doing because what you're doing, you're at a level. So now what you're doing is you're going back and you're reaching back to pull people up. So I do like that. So here's a question that I want to know. With
I
all
just
the
want to clarify something though. I don't look at it as going back.
Mhm.
I think that no matter where you are at any station in your life, you can reach above, below, to the side, in front of you. I just think that we have to lift as we climb.
Mm,
So I don't really think about, okay, I'm gonna get to this spot. Now I can
mhm.
help people. Who I am and how I've been has been the whole time. I was, 14 years old doing the same thing. A kid had a problem, they came to me and I had something to offer them, offer it. You know what I mean? And that's been my consistent journey. It's just that this at this time, I'm much more focused on that, even as a business model. I believe that I've just never been about me. Even and the challenge is because you work as an actor and you're in Hollywood. The assumption
Yeah.
is people think, well, you're the celebrity. It's about you and your career, but it's a we thing. The only way I could be in real estate development at the level I'm at is because people have given me a seat at the table, because they said, hey, come here, let me show you some stuff. And that's constant. That's every single day of my life. There's partners that I work with that are constantly pouring into me.
He went out. He should be coming back in. Okay. Can you hear me now?
I heard you the whole
I
time.
think you're having Wi-Fi.
I'm not having any issues here. It's my bars are all here.
Okay.
That's the platform itself. I'll say that. Can you not hear me?
Your Wi-Fi keeps going in and out.
It's not my
Yeah,
Wi. It's not my Wi-Fi. My
your
Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi
is.
is going in and out. Hold on.
You fine.
Okay, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but he should be coming back. You
I,
know,
I'm
to
here the whole
see, I
time. I
think
can
he's
see
coming in
you and
now.
hear you the whole time.
Can you hear me?
I can see and hear you the whole time.
Yeah, your Wi-Fi or yeah, you're not. I don't see your video, but I mean, we could still continue. And you want to come out and come back in, Malik? Okay, so until we can get him back on, so I really wanted to get him on the show, so I'll keep talking until he gets on, because y'all know I can talk forever, right? So I wanted him to come on because I remembered seeing him. I first saw this man on Cool Running, and I thought he was mad cool, right? But no pun intended. But here's the thing: what I liked about him, not only he, as y'all know, Malik, as y'all know, I'm Jamaican, and he has done. He's always talking about Jamaica. And hello, welcome back.
I never went anywhere. I saw you and heard you the entire time.
Really? Because you disappeared and we couldn't see you.
Nah,
Okay,
my
so
nothing has changed. I can see you and hear you the entire time, and
okay, just
I
couldn't.
see me the whole time. So I don't know
Wow.
what. So I ain't going nowhere. I keep hearing you saying you're going away, but I'm not. I'm right here.
Okay. All right. So we are going through some hard times in this world, and everyone is clinging on to something just to make it through the day, right? What one advice has someone given you that has helped you through? Because we had, the what's going on right now in the world, and people are passing. In your difficult times, especially through this time now, through COVID and things like that, what has helped you maintain?
Um, for me, it's just been a sense of purpose. I've never been a passenger, just
Mm,
sort of hanging out, letting things happen to me. I've been about. I've only had one purpose really the whole time, and this is what I said before. I my life has always been about service, and so again, if you're an actor and people see you in that context, they can assume that that's your purpose, that the purpose is just to act and to be that person. That's only part of the equation,
mhm.
right? I have been blessed with multiple gifts, but whether it's writing, directing, producing, being an entrepreneur, being an educator, being a community activist, any of those things, at the core of all that is how do you help other people get to where they're trying to get to? Because none of us can get where we're going without the help of other people. And it's not about, just using other people to get what you want. But I don't know you, right? I got asked to be on your show. David asked me to do it. I don't have to know you to say if I show up and this is supporting your vision of what you are doing with your life, then I'm going to show up. And it's really that basic for me. And so when you have that kind of sense of mission and sense of purpose, then that's what you do. For some people, their whole thing is, I just want to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Some people, it's, I want to be on the planet to fuck other people over. There's people who believe that. Look at Putin right now.
Yeah.
And there's lots of Putins. You might have kids with a Putin. You know what I mean? Like there are people who really
Yeah.
believe their job is to be disruptive and to get over on other people. I just don't feel that way. So for me, regardless of what I've gone through, the North Star is this incessant feeling that I have not achieved what I'm really here to do yet.
Oh man, I can connect with you on that, because there's so many circles, so many things going on that this is what I'm led to do. This is my purpose. Have conversations with people, but not just have conversations, to connect with people, because I'm creating a positive space. I'm not here trying to do the gossip stuff. That's just not me. I want to create a positive space. I tell people I'm a positive person living in a negative world. So my space that I live in, it's all about positivity. I'm attracted to positive Pollys, positive Peters, and allergic to the negative Nellies and the negative Neds. You know what I'm saying? So, because I'm telling you, I can listen to you all day, because not only do you have the voice, you're very intelligent. So, what book are you reading right now? Or what book would you recommend for someone who needs to, one, business, and two, improvement on themselves?
Man, 1 second. Let me go get this book because I just got this the other day. Hold on.
Okay, no problem. I'm loving this interview, y'all. I'm telling you, he's schooling me. He's schooling me. And And you heard what he said. He didn't know me. And I want people to understand that you don't have to know a person. You don't have to, how many followers do they have? You know, it's always great to create a space with like minded people. Okay, so he brought the book, Wealth, Poverty, and Politics
But look
by
at the
Thomas
author.
Sowell.
This,
Thomas Sowell.
do you know who that is?
No, no, I don't. Mm-mm.
Thomas Sowell is one of the most intelligent human beings to ever walk the planet as a black man. He was an educator. He was a philosopher. He was a photographer. He taught at University of Chicago. I believe he taught at Stanford at one point. Grew up in, I think he born in like the 30s or something. Died a couple years ago. But one of the greatest minds ever. There's a great documentary on him on Amazon. You can just go on YouTube. And here's a man who was conservative. He was a Marxist at one point. But this book, Wealth, Poverty, and Politics, is a result of him traveling the world and looking at political systems and their impact on both wealth and poverty. And he calls into question a lot of what we tend to believe as Americans just to be true, right? And if you see him in many talk shows and interviews, he will shut everybody down just based on the facts. Like his whole thing was never about the emotions, but just about the facts of how we got here, why we're here. And I'm not saying he was always necessarily right, but his, I won't even. He's written tons of books, but this one I just bought the other day because of what I'm doing around generational wealth creation, the work that I'm doing in politics, the work I'm doing in education. And I just want to be as armed as possible with as much scholarly information so that, the things that I believe can be supported or refuted. Because I can believe something, I'll be like, nah, that's really not what we need to be thinking about when we talk about empowering our people with information. So that's a good one right there.
So, and that covers everything because it's so important. I think for me, I love to read. I love to read, and we have to have knowledge, as you said, because when they're coming, you better have that knowledge with you. So you can fight them with the knowledge.
Well, that's
So,
a big part of the problem with a generation growing up on social media.
oh,
As people enter echo chambers and then they start spewing out falsehoods because they heard somebody else say it, not because they went and did the research themselves, or just because it's an opinion and they think that, just because I have this opinion or this feeling, then that makes it a fact. And a lot of people don't spend a lot of time pursuing scholarly insights and questioning those insights. Because just because you read it, because Thomas Sowell said it, that doesn't mean that you can't go and do further research yourself.
right.
It should just be a spark to make you go, well, shit, if I heard that, then let me go dig a little deeper. The work that I do, around education, as a for instance, like for a lot of us that grow up in the hood, we might just think, well, that's just where black people ended up because of slavery, or because of, poor education, all those things, right? But when you understand how government policy starting in the 30s created redlining and federal policy that was run by, insurance companies, real estate assessors that said, you know what, anywhere there are black people is inherently less valuable. So we're not going to invest in those communities. And as a result of that, the schools don't get the funding because real estate taxes pay for schools. And so we grow up believing that being poor or in the hood is a badge of honor and a birthright. And we kill each other over these blocks. We kill each other over colors. We kill each other over lack, right? Lack of opportunity, lack of access, but we carry it as a badge of honor. Like, nigga, you know where I'm from, nigga? Nigga, I'm from, nigga, like that energy that's all over. Those are some of the things that, I'm passionate about in terms of,
Re-educating.
yeah, just educating people. How do we get here? and how can we accelerate from this place? The only way we can really do it is to work together.
Do you think it's going to be, do you think it's easier to unlearn something or is it easier to educate someone?
Well, I think in the unlearning, that means you're learning something. You're learning what you thought was true is not true. So, um, I mean, and simply put, when the student is ready to teach your peers, so there are people that we want to unlearn things, but they can't, or it's not their time. Right? We all have had that experience where somebody try to tell us something and
Yeah.
we didn't get it right away, and then later on you're like, man, if I would have only listened
Yes.
years ago, now I get it.
Yes. Yeah, because I do get those epiphanies and aha moments like, oh, so that's what they were trying to tell me. So for me, I like when I'm by myself because I noticed I'm more creative when I have that little downtime. So it's important to have self care. And I always like asking, especially men, about self care. Are you taking time for self care? And if you are, what are you doing for
I
self
just took
care?
a walk before this interview, and because I was still writing today, so I ran into my 2 hour block that I was hoping from like 1 to 3 that I could take a walk. But when I finish with you, I'm gonna go back out. That's where I can think. That's where I can get blood flow, some low impact cardio, but all kinds of things: working out, meditation, doctor visits, spa. I called my masseuse actually as well. Like, yo, when you free, so I can come see you, or she'll come here. But it depends. Yeah.
Are you sharing this with your other male friends? Because a lot, especially black men, they're not doing the self care. Forget black women, because I'm always talking to them about what are you doing for self care. That's one of the things I use on my platform to talk about self care. I don't care what you do. Take the time for yourself to do self care. So, are you sharing this among your
I mean,
fellow?
typically, most of the guys that I'm close to, that's just how they get down.
Mm.
You most guys that I rock with are about taking care of themselves in significant ways. Yeah.
So, if I were to ask you if you were going to write a book today about yourself, right? Up until this stage, what would you title the book?
I'm writing a book actually.
Oh, okay.
So it's funny that you would ask because I've actually been writing for the better part of the last year, aside
Okay.
from scripts. And I've been working on, what I would like to be a bit of a memoir, a bit of a self-help book. And it's funny because I was working with an editor and we were running up against philosophical differences on the approach that I should take or how I should write or what should be in it. And for me, I think sharing a lot of my journey is important.
Mhm.
Um, Even though we might have similar origin stories, a lot of us, I think it's our perspective on it that is the difference maker. Someone who has done a lot of education, a lot of teaching, a lot of public speaking, a lot of trainings. I've learned that a lot of my points of view land, and they do help people uh, make different types of choices. And so I lean on that. And so sometimes you can work with an editor or someone that doesn't know you as well, and they have an opinion about who they think you are because they've seen
Mhm.
you, because I'm Malik Yoba. But a lot of what I do on a community level isn't always publicized, and that's just because that's not where the focus is. The
Of
focus is
course
the
not.
work, right? But I know the thousands, tens of thousands of lives that I've touched, around the world in doing this work, and so I have a sense of what works and how I want to approach it. So we'll see where it ends up. But that's something that I've actually been spending a lot of time in the last year doing. Is
So
actually
what
writing.
about the title? What about the? I mean, you don't have to give me that
I
title.
won't give you the title because
Right.
it's
Just can you make one up that, or just think about another one, or you
I
can't?
think about it all the time. I think about it all the time because a lot of the title will drive what I believe the book is, right? Um, and so, in the beginning, I was writing from a perspective of Black men and trauma,
Mm-hmm.
and the lens of what celebrity can do to people and being famous, you know. And if you look at the landscape of our black men who have, like we come, most of us are coming from some serious trauma.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We come in from the hood generally. A lot of us not, but a lot of us, particularly rappers, a lot of athletes, a lot of actors, right? We're coming from places where we're looking to escape that trauma. And a lot of us haven't had the opportunity to have the right modalities to process that trauma. And so we see us act out, whether it's Will Smith, whether it's my brother Michael K. Williams, whether it's Tyrese,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's, Twitch, whether it's Kanye, whether it's Dave Chappelle, whether it's Cat Williams, whoever it is, right? And those are just the dudes that have a light shining on them. Then there's a
Can you
whole
imagine the
bunch
ones
of
who
other
don't?
guys that don't,
Mm-hmm.
that are just carrying this trauma. And when you're in the light and your life gets amplified, and you still have to sit with yourself. And if you don't have those tools, that trauma will act out and it will manifest in all kinds of ways, internally or externally, or both, right? Um, and so that's what, I'm writing from that kind of space of looking at my own trauma, how I've been able to process it or not, um, how it shows up, and then find parallels between what I might be known for, the public perception of me versus who I really am.
So
Because
what can we do to support? What can we do to support you? And not only just you, our black men, because we have to seek therapy. We have to find the right therapist because in the black community, as you said, trauma and we have the drama, and it's whatever goes on in this house stays in this house. And I think people a little bit more are seeking therapists. And you have Charlemagne the God talking about he goes to therapy. So we're hearing more and more and more of that. But I still believe we still have that segmented group of people that are keeping things inside. They
I
don't want to
think
talk
it
about it.
depends. If you're over 50, certain age, then typically that's kind of where people live, even at
Mhm.
35. But I think when you go younger, these kids are out here. Drake has made a whole career about being emotional and telling you
Yeah,
how
facts.
he's like the
Facts.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why he's so appealing. Is that he's talked about his emotions in a way that a lot of artists haven't of a generation. So I think we can just continue to ask questions and not make assumptions. That's the biggest
Mm,
thing.
I like that.
People make assumptions all the he probably
It's true. Because it's that public persona that we're looking at and we're thinking, oh,
you
well,
have
he had
no idea
money.
what the hell you have no idea.
Yes.
People, they go right to your money, they go to your sex life, they go to what your politics, like they believe this because of that and they're this. No, man. No, we're all complicated beings. None of
Mhm.
us is just one thing. We damn sure are not our personas, even no matter how much we may try.
Right, right.
People project that onto you. So
When that light turns off, you're like by yourself, and this is who you really are, because we all have different parts of us that we put out and to different people as well,
mhm.
so I definitely understand that. So what song describes you in the moment that you're in right now, this space that you're in right now? What song would you say describes you, or you more relate to it?
That's a great question. Well, my tried and true is always my man Sam Cooke. I got to go. Change gonna come. But, I mean, there's so many. There's so
Right.
many. But I mean, I can't think of one other than that at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this question. Do you have hope for our people? Because let me say this to you, because look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I love my people. I'm also disappointed in my people, right?
You're probably talking about yourself too.
Yeah, of course. I'm a work in progress, okay? But I don't want to keep saying this 10 years from now because that's an excuse, okay? To be in the same space because you graduate because I think now I'm in the third grade, right? Because I left corporate America, I decided to do this. I wanted to help people, have conversations with different people so we can get to know each other and share in a space because I come from the lens of a sex trafficking, okay, a survivor of sex trafficking. And I want to show women that we need to discuss the traumas, we need to heal from it, okay, but it takes time. I can't say, well, that happened 15 years ago, so you should be healed. It
Mm.
takes time, but we need to show more empathy and compassion towards each other. Because my brother, this freaking cancel culture that we've started, okay, I didn't start it, but we gotta get this out. I'm so sick of this cancel culture.
Um, I agree. I mean, I will always have hope because I think there's a lot of reasons to be hopeful. And for instance, I was just in Jamaica I was hosting something called Tech Beach, and it's put together by my boy Kirk Anthony Hamilton. Um, and it was done to create an ecosystem for tech entrepreneurs in the Caribbean region. And there was a young woman um, in the audience. She was 13 years old. She was the youngest person in the room.
Wow.
And I was introducing a young woman who is on the Forbes under 30 list that's worth about $450 million. And someone told me that this young lady was in the room and that she was a coder and she could code in 2 languages.
Mm.
I don't even know what that means, right? But that's what they said.
Mhm, mhm.
So the fact that I knew there was a 13-year-old in the room of adults, I
Gave you
called
hope.
her on the stage. And at first, people were like, yeah. I was like, nah. I want her to come up here and do my job and allow her to have the mic and have a moment. And she finished that moment. She went back into the audience. Then when we introduced the young entrepreneur who was going to do a fireside chat with another uh, interviewer, I asked the young lady to come back on the stage. And again, people were nervous for her and they were like, oh, well, because they didn't know. The educator in me understood that put the young person in position and they will surprise you every damn time. And don't project onto them your fears because you
Mhm.
don't think they're capable or because they look nervous or because of any of your own assumptions of what's going to happen. The only thing that I assume is going to happen is magic,
Ooh,
whatever
yes.
the magic is.
Mhm,
Because if she was stuck, then I would have been right there to encourage her to keep going. But what was important was to give her an experience that she never had before or the audience didn't have. And when that young woman finally opened her mouth and started talking about what she was up to and how she's raising money for this opportunity at the school, she said, and she was from St. Elizabeth.
oh,
And,
okay.
and so that's the southern
Mhm,
side of the island, the
mhm.
breadbasket of Jamaica. She's not from Kingston, she's from country.
Right.
This young woman
Yeah.
probably end up running the country one day. And so absolutely I have hope because there's 13-year-olds like Jada living in St. Elizabeth, Jamaica right now who could think and speak circles around grown ass adults living in New York City. Absolutely, I have hope, and I see it every day with the people that I work with, the people that I work with across the country. There's a lot of folks that believe that black folks can't work together. There's too many narratives to use one negative narrative to blanket
Right.
us all.
Right.
Yes, cancel culture is part of it, but acceptance culture is part of it too. It may not just get the same shine.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to for me, that's why I chose not to, because I've been told, no, if you're going to do this, talk about salacious things with people. There's so many people in that's doing that. And I remember growing up in New York, in the newspaper we had, I think it was called it was like basically positive stuff in the newspaper. I can't remember what the title was, but like a fireman got a cat out the tree. It was good news. So
Yeah.
I said, you know what? That's what I want to project. This is my space. I believe in karma. I believe in all of that. But I am choosing, I don't care how long it takes for me to build the platform, because when you build it, they will come. There's more like-minded people like myself than there's not. So I have hope in that. And that's what I choose. And that's the platform I choose to speak in. Positivity and, eating right, exercising, and how did you become a business person, things like that. Because to be honest, Malik, it soothes my soul. When I go to bed at night, I can sleep. I can sleep. So this is what feeds my soul. Stuff like this, talking to you, sharing this experience, the fact that you're here sharing your space and time, because you can't get time back. And the fact that you're allowing me to use your time or share it with me, it means a lot to me. This is the stuff that why I was here. This is my purpose in life.
Well, congratulations. No, I think it's important. I think as long as you know that, you stay on it, and keep moving in that direction, because none of us know when we're gonna go. And
Yeah.
so, yes, we will, as humans, we will always want the salacious, the negative, because those are the things that activate that dopamine in the brain
Mhm.
to make you feel excited about that thing. And I get it. That's part of the game, but just choose where you want to, what side of the
Look,
fence
if
you
you
want.
want to activate that part of your brain, either you have sex or you exercise. Okay. How
Well,
about
there you
that?
go. There you go.
How about that?
Well, there you go, baby. And it could be one and the same thing. Busted sweat while you. Let me not. Let me not.
You know what? I'm not going there.
And on that note, we need to wrap this up because I do have
Yes,
to get back
yes,
to
because I know
work.
you have some things going on. So we want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Women Are Worthy Network. We want to thank Mr. Malik Yoba for being here. He was such a gracious host, guest, because he wasn't just a guest, he was also the host, believe it or not. Okay, because he taught me some things. So again, I want to thank you for tuning in. And Mr. Yoba, if there's anything that we can do to support you, let David know. I also want to give props to David Robinson, who
Yes,
is the absolute best, best,
he
best.
is.
So
He's
other
one of
than
those
that,
people. He's one of those people we talking about.
yes,
Black
yes,
folks doing good things, and I'm always wanting to support him and vice versa. So
yes. So
he
again, I
told
want
me
to thank
about you, and here
everyone.
we go.
Yo, and let me know if there's anything you need through him. If I need to promote whatever, just let me know. Okay. So
Thank you.
again, Yadi, thank you for coming on the
Yeah, man,
show.
enough time, and
All
respect.
right. All right.
Enough time.
Respect.
All right,
Bye.
respect. All right.